As World War II swept across the globe, America faced a crisis on the home front. Millions of men were sent overseas, leaving factories and shipyards dangerously understaffed. Enter Rosie the Riveter, the iconic symbol of women who stepped into these roles, proving they could do what was once considered men's work. With determination, skill, and resilience, American women transformed ordinary factories into the lifeblood of the war effort, producing planes, ships, and weapons essential to victory. Rosie wasn't just a poster. She was a movement. She represents how women became the backbone of America's wartime success, keeping the nation strong while men fought abroad. The attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941, thrust the United States into World War II almost overnight. Suddenly, the nation faced a manpower crisis. Millions of men were drafted into military service, leaving factories, shipyards, and munitions plants dangerously understaffed. At the same time, the demand for war materials skyrocketed. Aircraft, tanks, ships, and weapons were needed in record numbers, and the country's industrial capacity had to ramp up immediately. Pre-war assumptions about gender roles made this challenge even greater. Most Americans believed heavy industrial labor was exclusively men's work, and women had largely been confined to domestic duties or office jobs. Yet, the urgency of war forced a dramatic change. Factories that once struggled to meet modest peacetime production suddenly had to operate around the clock. Every plane, every tank, every shell required skilled hands, and there simply weren't enough men to fill the roles. This gap created an unprecedented opportunity for women, who were now recruited in large numbers to join the industrial workforce. Their participation was no longer optional, it was essential. Women would soon prove that they could handle the demands of modern manufacturing, and in doing so, they became the backbone of America's wartime production. With millions of men off to fight overseas, the U.S. government launched an urgent campaign to recruit women into the workforce. Posters, films, and newspaper ads spread across the nation, urging women to step into factories, shipyards, and munitions plants. Among the most famous was the "We Can Do It" poster featuring Rosie the Riveter, a powerful symbol of strength, determination, and patriotism. Rosie wasn't just an image. She was a call to action, showing women that their contributions were crucial to the war effort. Recruitment slogans like "Join the Women's Army of Industry" and "Rosie Needs You" emphasized duty, pride, and the importance of supporting soldiers abroad. Training programs were quickly established to equip women with the technical skills needed to operate complex machinery and assemble aircraft, tanks, and weapons. This mobilization was remarkable not only for its scale, but also for its diversity. Women of all ages, backgrounds, and races joined the workforce, breaking societal norms and creating a sense of national unity. African American women, Latina women, and older women all took positions that had previously been closed to them. By stepping forward, these women answered the nation's urgent call, proving that victory at home was as vital as victory on the battlefield. Once women answered the call to arms, they entered factories that had once been dominated by men, transforming them into the backbone of America's wartime production. Aircraft plants buzzed with activity as women assembled B-17 bombers, carefully fitting engines and wings. Shipyards were filled with the sounds of welding and hammering as Liberty ships vital for transporting troops and supplies took shape under their hands. Munitions plants produced endless shells and bullets, while tank factories roared with machinery operated by skilled female workers. Many women arrived with little or no industrial experience, but training programs were rapidly established. Vocational schools, on-site instruction, and mentorship programs taught women how to operate complex machinery, read technical blueprints, and handle dangerous materials. These programs turned office clerks, teachers, and homemakers into factory experts almost overnight. The work was far from easy. Women faced long hours on grueling assembly lines, heavy machinery that required physical strength, and real safety hazards, from molten metal to explosive chemicals. Yet, despite these challenges, their contributions were staggering. By the end of the war, women had helped produce thousands of planes, tanks, ships, and millions of munitions, proving that their labor was indispensable. Factories became arenas of innovation, resilience, and unheralded heroism, truly the backbone of America's victory. As women flooded factories and shipyards, they were not just building planes and tanks, they were breaking social barriers that had long confined them to domestic roles. Working men's jobs challenged traditional gender norms, forcing society to confront what women could accomplish. The image of Rosie the Riveter became more than propaganda. She was a cultural icon, embodying strength, independence, and patriotism. Women like Rosie inspired millions to step into roles once considered impossible, from riveting B-17 bombers to operating heavy machinery in shipyards. Despite their contributions, these women faced significant obstacles. Unequal pay was common, with women earning far less than their male counterparts for the same work. Workplace harassment and skepticism about their abilities were daily realities, yet many persevered, often with humor or quiet determination. One riveter recalled, "We were told we couldn't handle the tools, but day after day we proved them wrong." Another remembered, "Every rivet I set was a statement I was as capable as any man on that line." Through resilience and skill, these women not only met the nation's industrial demands, but also paved the way for future generations, demonstrating that courage and competence knew no gender. Their labor reshaped American culture and redefined what it meant to be a woman in the workforce. The impact of women's wartime labor extended far beyond factory floors. As women proved their capabilities in industrial roles, they also entered professional fields, office jobs, and volunteer organizations, filling critical gaps left by men serving overseas. Secretaries, clerks, nurses, engineers, and countless other roles were taken on by women, ensuring that both the economy and the war effort continued without interruption. Volunteer efforts, including Red Cross programs and bond drives, further strengthened the home front, demonstrating that women's contributions were essential in every corner of society. The industrial achievements of women directly supported the U.S. military, keeping troops supplied with planes, ships, tanks, ammunition, and vehicles. Every item produced by female workers was a lifeline to soldiers overseas, and without their labor, the Allied war effort would have faltered. The government and media recognized these extraordinary contributions. The War Production Board honored outstanding female workers, and newspapers across the country celebrated their skill and determination. Magazine covers, newsreels, and radio broadcasts spread stories of Rosie's achieving feats once thought impossible. These acknowledgments not only boosted morale, but also cemented the role of women as indispensable contributors to America's victory, proving that the fight at home was as crucial as the battles abroad. The legacy of Rosie the Riveter extends far beyond World War II. During the war, women proved they could handle physically demanding jobs, operate complex machinery, and manage high-pressure production lines. After the war, these achievements became a powerful symbol of female empowerment and capability, inspiring future generations to challenge traditional gender roles. Rosie's image and story helped lay the groundwork for the women's rights movements of the 1960s and 1970s, reminding society that women were capable of far more than domestic or clerical roles. Rosie also embodied patriotism. Her work was framed not only as labor, but as a vital contribution to national victory. The message was clear: women could serve their country as effectively on the home front as men did on the battlefield. Yet the post-war period brought new challenges. As returning servicemen reclaimed industrial jobs, many women were pushed out of factories and encouraged to return to domestic life. Despite this setback, the experience had lasting effects. Women had acquired skills, confidence, and a sense of independence that could not be erased. Rosie's legacy became both a cultural touchstone and a call to action, demonstrating that the fight for equality and recognition in the workforce had only just begun. Women's labor on the home front was not just helpful, it was essential to winning World War II. From factories to offices, from shipyards to volunteer organizations, American women stepped up when the nation needed them most, keeping the economy running and the military supplied. Rosie the Riveter remains a powerful symbol of courage, skill, and determination, reminding us that victory depended as much on those at home as those on the battlefield. As the iconic poster declares, "We can do it," their story is a testament to what can be achieved when ordinary people rise to extraordinary challenges. It challenges us today to consider the power of collective effort and the difference one determined individual or one workforce can make.